Okay, to start rolling your icing, make sure you use plenty of corn flour under your icing to stop it from sticking. When we roll out, we generally roll in one direction 6 times and then turn it by half clockwise, as Ella's going to do now. We then roll out again. We try and keep the shape in whatever shape we're rolling out to. So if we're rolling out to a square, we try and keep the shape of the fondant square. If we're rolling out into for a round cake, we try and keep the fondant round. Ella's doing a heart cake, so she's just trying to keep it fairly round. This is Ella's first time rolling out fondant and covering a cake on her own. So as she's rolling out, she's trying to get the fondant nice and smooth, fairly uniform shape, and fairly thin. You'll see now that Ella's using a fondant smoother to smooth the top of the cake. We do this so that we can buff out any imperfections, find out air bubbles like Ella's just found. She's going to use a pin to get the air bubble out. Then with the fondant smoother polishes the fondant for us to then put on so that it's a nice and smooth, shiny surface. So when we're finished polishing and smoothing our fondant, we would then go ahead and cover the cake with the fondant. So you'll see Ella pop the rolling pin in the middle of the fondant and flip the top over. She then will bring the cake forward to her and she will pop it over the cake. Now please bear in mind this is Ella's first time icing a cake and she is only 8 in the video. So you'll see that Ella just rolled that fondant over the top of the cake. That isn't something I would generally recommend as it could still trap air bubbles, but it didn't in her case and it worked, so that's a good thing. If you do have air bubbles in the top of the cake, you would just lift up the side gently and try and force those air bubbles out, or if you can't, use a pin. Now Ella's just smoothing the top of the cake around the sides and moulding it into the heart shape by using her hands. She will also use a fondant smoother and then trim the sides off with a knife. If you have any cracking and crazing, you can use the heat of your hand to help get those out. So what you'll see us doing now is smoothing all down, making sure that the fondant is stuck to the icing that we've put underneath. We've just used a buttercream icing underneath, but you can use jam or ganache or anything you'd like really. We're also using a fondant smoother to push the bottom edge right down to the board. I've just given Ella a piece of acetate. That's a great tool to cut around the icing. It's also great for smoothing out any little imperfections, helping to remove the mark from any air bubbles if you had to get out with a pin. Ella's now trimming around the sides of her cake, ready for her to decorate. Now you'll see Ella with her finished iced cake. She's decorated it with fondant waves, hearts, flowers, flags, lots of things. She wanted to put so many things on it. She took it into school to share with her classmates, and we've affectionately named her Ella Bella Cakerella. Thanks for watching.